Alright, you know what? In the comments, tell me what 4-cylinder sounds better than this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So one of my favorite things about the 86 is its exhaust. I was actually thinking about selling this thing a while back, and then I was like, you know what, let me just put an exhaust on it, see what that does for me. And it made this car so much more enjoyable to drive day to day. I have the Borla S-Type on it, and you know, it's pretty quiet when you're just cruising like this. It doesn't really draw attention, but you do a couple of downshifts, and it really opens up, and you get that overrun snarl. It's really fun. And then at lower speeds, when you are downshifting, you can get like some crackles and pops. So I really enjoy the exhaust. It kind of made me want to hold on to this because it kind of gives that like little bit of visceral, you know, emotion, I guess, when you're driving, even if you're going slow, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm driving like a car that turns fuel into explosions, you know, and not just something that sounds like a vacuum. Anyway, I was kind of getting the same like feelings about the Lotus, where I was just like, man, I just wish it had a little bit more noise to it. And it has a lot of intake noise because the engine's right behind you, but I've like never heard the exhaust. I only just recorded it today just to kind of like see what it sounded like, and yeah, I heard it on my phone, so I'll check it out later, but it just isn't very much. And then I was looking at exhausts, and then I heard this one called a SonicFury by InoKinetic, and I was like, you know what, that's the one for me. It kind of like, it's quiet down low, but get it on the second cam, 6,000, 7,000, 8,500 RPM, and it kind of like screams like a sport bike. And I was like, yeah, that's the one. So, you know, I was casually shopping anyway for a tow hook to take the Lotus to the track, and I was like, you know what, that's $100, and then I almost qualify for free shipping. You know, all I need is to spend $900. So, yeah, I picked up a SonicFury diffuser exit exhaust. That way I don't have to get like a, you know, back plate delete kit or anything like that. I really just wanted to have something that looked stock but sounded good. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on today, and we'll see how easy that is to do, because I watched the video and it doesn't seem too bad. I probably just have to roll the car up on ramps and take off the diffuser and fight with some exhaust clamps and stuff. The exhaust on this wasn't too bad. The hard part was getting it adjusted to look somewhat aligned, because apparently that's a thing with these cars. They don't align really well, but we'll see how it is on the Lotus. It's just a single exit on that one. And then I'll install the tow hook, and if the weather's not too crappy out, I'll take it for a spin. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys back at the house. Alright, I'm going to try to be lazy and see if I can do this without jacking up the car. I think the rear end of this is high enough that I can get access. I just have to take off the diffuser. I think one of the hangers you have to kind of like reach around the driver's side wheel well area, but we'll see how this goes. Kind of a little cramped, but can make it work. Anyway, so here's that tow hook that mounts onto the diffuser. There's the exhaust. You can see there's not much to it. It's just a can muffler, pretty short. So I'm gonna get to it, start unbolting stuff, and we'll see how this goes. Alright, so that's the diffuser tray. It's a 3 element, so just one, middle section, 3. So Cool, it's got the exhaust cut out. So the exhaust is gonna go through that. I don't know if that like cancels out any of the diffuser stuff. To be honest, this is not a very aggressive diffuser. Not a lot of aero on this car, but it looks cool. And I like keeping stuff looking relatively stock. But let's go look at what we got back here. So, some heat shielding. This cat muffler. All right, so I'm looking around and there's the hangers up here, right? So let's see if you can see. I need to take off this portion to get to that hanger so I can remove that side. Guess do the same on the other side. So start by taking off this. And yeah, I think I have to do that on the other side for the heat shield. Just kind of working my way through this. All right, so that's that hanger loose. So now I need to get a 15 and take off the exhaust hanger bolt. Let me try a breaker bar so I don't destroy this thing. Oh, fuck. Alright, so I was able to just kind of pry it free, clamp a little bit. Oh, I'm so confused. I don't understand why this clamp is welded on. I'm letting PB Blaster kind of soak on this joint. So this is welded on. I'm going to deal with that in a second. I popped out the hangers from the passenger side. I'm going to put these on the new exhaust. It looks like usually this is not welded, I guess. I don't know. See, there's a little tack weld right there. Anyway. So I'm gonna need a new band. I can get that from like Napa off the street for like 10 bucks. So it's a 2.5-inch exhaust, get a 2.5-inch band. I'm not worried too much about that. Then there are the hangers that are up there. I guess I didn't need to move this heat shield or take those bolts out, but whatever. So while it's soaking, let's move the hanger bushing thingies over to the new exhaust. Okay, all right, let me see what I can do about these hangers. So they're up here, you can kind of see behind the grating, up there. Let me do what I can to get to them. Who keeps making noise?
A car?
Yeah, what car is that? The guy was doing like burnouts before. Oh. Like, who does a burnout in a residential area? Alright, seems like they're all loose. Yeah, it's coming. It's also really heavy. There we go. It's out. Hey, we got it. And she's off. So the clamp, let's weld it on there, and I have the snapped bolts. That's really cool. Fortunately, it looks like I could probably just get another one of those bolts or whatever that's called. But it's actually not that heavy, so I thought it was going to be worse. I think people online were kind of exaggerating. So before I can do that, I need to measure, make sure that this is in fact 2.5 inch tubing like it says, so I can pick up a new exhaust clamp from Napa up the road, and then I can continue with the install. 2.5. Yeah, it's like 2.5-ish. All right, 2.5 clamp it is. I will be back getting my 2.5 inch clamp. All right, stuck that on for now. So I'm going to stick the exhaust on. Okay, so I'm getting these mounts back on there. That's real fun. Alright, that one, those ones are much easier. I'm gonna have them loose in there, and then I want to make sure that everything's all centered up. Alright, I'm going to make sure everything's centered, fits under the diffuser, and then I'm going to figure out how to tighten that clamp. Awesome. After a lot of WD-40 and moving this around and tightening and loosening up the hangers, I got this pretty much as centered as I'm happy with. So now I got to tighten up the hangers, tighten up the clamp, and then put everything back together. All right, after a solid amount of swearing and frustration, I did manage to get everything buttoned up with the hanger and the clamp and everything. I'm gonna put the diffuser back on and see how it all looks. All right, so it's all installed. I'm gonna go ahead and do a cold start, see how that goes. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty frustrating. I should have probably jacked up the car, and yeah, I don't know. The snap bolt was one thing, and I don't know, it was just generally kind of frustrating. But I think it's all on there now. I think it's tight, and hopefully it's all good. It was just a lot of massaging the thing to get it into the right spot. This car is like very finicky to work on. Like you have to like there's just so many fasteners and stuff, and things are in weird spots, and everything's sharp. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it's just first time you do it is so much more difficult than you're expecting, I guess, and then you learn a lot of lessons, and then next time you can do it quicker. All right, so I'm already noticing that I actually hear the exhaust, which I definitely did not previously. And I'm just kind of cruising. I'm letting the car warm up, and then I'll get on it once it's all up to temperature. But oh yeah, this sounds kind of spicy. I'm excited. Holy crap. Wow. That's awesome. Oh like a fucking sports car. What does that sound like with the windows down? God, the overrun on that. I feel like this thing should shoot flames. That is nuts. That's what this car was missing. Alright, you know what? In the comments, tell me what 4-cylinder sounds better than this. Maybe an Alpha. Just take over. It just it's awesome. Ah, so much worth the pain of the install. I don't know, man, it sounds pretty exotic to me now. It's like a mini Lambo or McLaren. It's just shrill. Oh my God. Yes, this is it. Alright guys, I think that's it for me today. I'll do that tow hook another time, but I don't think that's worth the video. So thank you for watching. If you like this, please leave a like, comment, tell me what you think. Subscribe please, and yeah, I've got something else coming up soon. Alright, see you guys.